Welcome to another episode, everyone. Big Trey D, the LA rapper who terrorized Los Angeles, terrorized Long Beach, and terrorized Snoop Doggy Dogg. He got into a dispute with Snoop Doggy Dogg over some money and went to his studio and gunned it down. Trey D is a real individual who's a real member from Long Beach Insane Crip. Many of you know who this individual is.
In the LA hip-hop world, there's that one rapper that, although he never reached the commercial fame of big names like Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, or even Ice Cube out in the streets, real hip-hop fans know he's the real deal, not someone to mess with.
Yeah.
And that's Trey D.
He told us cheese holders, making busters bow down or we squeeze on them, and then there's no surrender.
I know he wasn't signed to death row, right? But he worked with cats up there.
Big Side were cool. They were solid.
And Trey D ended up having to do some time in prison for
shooting at drunk and not. But I'm just saying he was, and he shot at Snoop.
From facing off with Tyron Turner,
Me and Trey D we wrestled.
to literally throwing a chair at a judge after getting sentenced.
I threw a chair at the judge when I got sentenced to 5 years in the youth authority.
To handling business with Suge Knight and his crew at the 2000 Source Awards.
Snoop and Dre were going to accept an award. So who was going to f*** it up?
All the Death Row entourage, the whole Death Row squad came here. Just some of them and some of us.
And even making sure Snoop Dogg knew just how real he was.
With that situation, there was a shooting, I guess?
Mm-hmm.
So you shot at, was it at Snoop or?
It was at his studio.
Trey D has never been that gangster rapper to mess with. Let's get into it. In 2000, during the Source Awards being held in LA, a situation came up where the event was disrupted.
Hip-hop awards show, which was stopped by police in Pasadena, California on Tuesday night after fights broke out in the audience and spread up onto the stage. UPN is taping news segments to fill out the show, which means you won't be seeing a lot of what actually happened.
It all escalated when Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre were supposed to hit the stage and accept an award that night, but Death Row wasn't having it.
They was coming to try to disrupt Snoop and Dr. Dre from getting on stage and accepting the award.
This wasn't the only Source Awards where Suge Knight and his crew threw off some scene. There was the one with Puff Daddy at Madison Square Garden.
Any artist out there want to be an artist and want to stay a star, and don't want to have to worry about the executive producer trying to be all in the videos, all on the record, dancing. Come to Death Row.
But the situation with Trey D, Snoop Dogg, and Dr. Dre was LA. And in LA, Death Row had to be part of the show. No way around it.
Then you wasn't finna come to LA and have no award show without inviting Death Row.
Okay, fair enough.
That wasn't gonna happen.
By then, Snoop Dogg had left Death Row and Dre was long gone, but they were still getting honored. And that didn't sit right with certain people.
Snoop and Dre were going to accept an award. So who was going to f*** it up?
All the Death Row entourage, the whole Death Row squad came here.
The whole Death Row crew was in the building, ready to cause trouble.
And Death Row was going to basically f*** all that up.
Yeah, they was coming there to, y'all ain't getting no award, we gonna take off and, all that.
Trey D and some homies from 60s were on stage when it all kicked off.
Me and one of the homies from 60s was up there. Another homie from 60s came up there.
Even King Lou, who was also part of the 60s, later rapped about it.
And asked me to go to Source Awards when I caught him. While y'all was pacing, the homies was bringing up situations.
So before things got out of control that night, security rushed Snoop Dogg and Dre out the back. Then it was just a standoff.
The security rushed Snoop and everybody out the back. Once they started coming to the stage, they rushed Snoop and everybody out the back, so we had a little standoff.
Police came in, sprayed mace, and shut it down before it got worse.
Right now, the network will be airing a performance by Method Man and Redman, among other things, and also broadcasting a bromide calling for more peace and less violence in hip-hop music.
Yeah, we see these same type of videos now going all around Instagram and all that. People out there fighting and acting crazy. It was dangerous back then to be in the hip-hop industry, to be a rapper. As we can see, even at the award shows, assaults are happening. You're not safe even at an award show. But even now, as we know, they say that really being a rapper is the most dangerous profession that you can have. How many rappers do we know that have been unalive? Not just real big names, but not so big names. Some of it is just life playing itself out, but some of it is them these individuals died way before their time. Trey D is an individual who was indeed reputable in the LA area and in the Long Beach area back in these days, known for being a stand-up individual, known for being a real member, and he had went to prison, California prison, and did some time in prison, did some years. I believe that he was in CMC prison before he got out. He's been out for some time now, but he had fell out with Snoop Dogg, as we're going to see, and things got ugly.
UPN Source of Word Special will air next Tuesday night.
For everyone who was there, the energy was unforgettable. Trey D and Snoop Dogg were tight back in the late 90s and early 2000s as part of Eastsidaz with Goldie Loc. Even though they were making music together, they came from rival Long Beach gangs. Trey D from Insane Crips, Snoop Dogg and Goldie from Rollin' 20s Crips.
When Snoop first signed you guys, you and Snoop were from rival neighborhoods?
Mm-hmm.
So you're Insane.
Yeah.
And Snoop is
Rollin' 20.
East actually helped ease some of that tension, bringing both sets together for a while. They even made songs like 21 Jump Street to promote unity.
Yeah, we did 21 Jump Street for Murder Was the Case soundtrack. About a month after that.
Dedicated to the East Side, 21 Street. My favorite and your favorite, Snoop Froggy Dog.
Things got messy when money got involved. Trey D felt like Snoop Dogg was keeping most of the profits while he and Goldie only saw scraps.
It was a money situation.
Yeah.
Over royalties?
Trey D claimed they only got a $200K advance, while Snoop and the label made millions off their albums. He accused Snoop of shady business and an unfair split, saying their manager even found proof. Trey wanted Goldie Loc to back him up, but Goldie sided with Snoop, making Trey look like the villain. For 2 years, Trey tried to settle things peacefully, but Snoop wouldn't budge. Eventually, his frustration hit a breaking point. He showed up at Snoop's house demanding his money.
With that situation, there was a shooting, I guess?
Mm-hmm.
So you shot at, was it at Snoop or?
It was at his studio.
Instead of facing him.
So not his home. He didn't shoot up Snoop Dogg's home, but his studio, as he just said. But he said, they're saying that, the narrator here says that Trey D only received a $200,000 advance or so, while Snoop Dogg and his crew made millions of it. The Eastsiders had went, viral. The Eastsiders had went platinum. The Eastsiders, a lot of individuals in the LA area were listening to the Eastsiders. Pretty much everyone in Long Beach was listening to the Eastsiders and Snoop Dogg and all of that at that time. So I'm not surprised that the album made millions of dollars, and yet he ends up with no money. He said that he tried to handle it diplomatically for 2 years, just waited on his money. Snoop Dogg is stonewalling him, playing games. He's already rich. A lot of these producers and individuals who run these companies, they do this. The P. Diddy's, the Suge Knights, a lot of them, they get greedy, they get hungry. I don't know what happened here. But something happened because the man that went, and he's admitting on camera on the internet that he went and gunned Snoop Dogg's studio down, looking for his bread, after trying to get it for 2 years, not getting it, not receiving it, and then became so frustrated that he packed up and went looking for him. Oh, man.
Snoop Dogg allegedly ran off in his truck, even as his own bodyguard told him to come back. The next day, when Trey returned, things escalated. Snoop Dogg's people reportedly fired shots at him.
Oh, but one of his security shot at me initially.
That turned a money dispute into a full-on street conflict.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And, I responded in kind.
Okay.
Rumors spread that Trey was trying to shake Snoop Dogg down, but he denied it, saying Snoop Dogg had actually been paying other Long Beach homies for protection. For about 5 years, they didn't speak at all. By 2008, 2009, they finally squashed the beef.
Actually, I caught him on the phone 5 years later.
Aha. Oh, so 5 years passed before you guys worked it out.
5 years later.
Trey, who was in prison at the time, said he had a long overdue conversation with Snoop Dogg, and they agreed to put the past behind them. In the summer of 2000, Dr. Dre's Up in Smoke tour was the biggest thing in hip-hop. The lineup was stacked. Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube, Eminem, Nate Dogg, and more. The Snoop Dogg, Trey D, and Goldie Loc were part of the tour too. TQ, an R&B singer known for the song West Side, also joined for parts of the tour. The problem? That Eastsidaz didn't like the idea of opening for TQ.
I know we had an issue with TQ being us opening for TQ. We had an issue with that.
To them, it was disrespectful for a hard...
I'm sure. Opening... Who the hell is TQ, huh? Oh, watered down ass Tevin Campbell? Hell no. Trey D is a legend. Goldie Loc too, really. As I said, a lot of individuals were playing this music, and these were real affiliates, real members from their sections. So they had respect in the streets out there. And then, as we see, Trey D went to prison. He was really about that life. Who the hell is TQ? What do you mean? You're going to open up for TQ? Opening up for Snoop Dogg? Jay-Z, I get it. I'm opening up for TQ? I've been with y'all. I've been making music with Snoop Dogg. And I got to open up for TQ? And I guess TQ was going to open up for Snoop? Or something. Who is this? That's out. I'm sure he did have a problem with that.
Core rap group to go on before an R&B act. It wasn't personal beef. It was about respect. Trey D later said tensions flared because they felt slighted by the tour lineup.
I think we had G'd Up, we had Got Beef, which Jail Felony featured on with the Eastsidaz. We confronted everybody up to Dr. Dre about it.
At one point, there were rumors that Trey D and J.O. Felony, who was around backstage, were about to press TQ over the issue. J.O. even said in an interview that he and Trey D almost beat up TQ.
So one time, me and Trey D, we threatened to T-Pain up. I mean, not T-Pain, what's the name that was on Cash Money?
TQ.
TQ, yeah. We told Dre, hey Dre, we finna TQ up tonight.
Man, TQ the homie too, dog. Y'all gonna beat TQ up, dog.
We wasn't gonna do nothing to TQ, but we had to tell Dre, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you need to switch the time slots.
It seems they were ready to check him, or the tour manager, but in the end, no actual fight happened. Instead, Thought East made a big decision. They walked off the tour. Trey D confirmed that after the confrontation, they decided to leave.
We chose, whether wisely or not, to vacate the Up and Smoke tour.
Looking back, Trey D said there were no lasting issues with TQ. He even clarified, I like TQ, man.
Nah, I like TQ, man.
They ended up working together later, which proves there was no real grudge.
That's my boy. I did a song with him called One More Lick.
Back in 2015, Young Thug and The Game had a social media beef, trading threats over something involving Lil Wayne.
See, you used to be a Crip, now you're a Blood. So I don't want no smoke with you. You got Bloods and Crips on your team. And you was a male stripper once before, so I don't want to fight you. I don't want no germs on you.
I just seen your little video, you hoe. You paint your nails like a fucking girl. You call your bae, and you a hoe. Keep around, they gonna drive by that nail shop and light that up.
A lot of OG.
Man, this beef shit been going on for that. Was back in 2015. Young Thug in The Game is beefing. He talking about his painted nails. And then said Game was a male stripper. Wow, that's nasty work. Game was out there twerking for the dollar bills?
These gave their opinions, and Trey D was one of them.
Young Thug and Game got into it recently. You heard about that?
Yeah, I heard about that a couple days ago.
When he was asked about Young Thug in an interview with Noah TV, he didn't hold back. He made it clear he didn't respect Thug at all. This wasn't a personal issue between them. Trey D just didn't like Young Thug's image or behavior, and he used homophobic slurs when talking about him. When the interviewer brought up Thug's name, Trey responded, "That's the rapper," showing that he only knew Thug for his fashion and public comments, not his music. He admitted he had never listened to a Young Thug song and mocked Thug's statements about Birdman, saying, "I don't know what the dude is, I never listened to his music. I just heard him say Baby was his girl and he loves Baby." His words went viral. The quote, "I don't know him, but F him," spread on hip-hop news sites. Trey also sided with The Game and the Beef, saying Birdman should let them fight one-on-one, adding, "That needs to happen." He was basically calling Thug soft. Despite all this, young Thug never responded. It's possible he wasn't even aware of Trey D, or he just didn't care. Either way, nothing came from it. The Game and Thug's beef fizzled out soon after, and Trey's comments remained just that, comments. Trey D ran into someone from his past, someone with a bad reputation at a Snoop Dogg party in 2017. The guy was known as a snitch, which is a huge violation in Trey's world. This wasn't about personal beef. Trey just felt like a known informant had no place at an OG gathering. He used to trust this guy, but that changed when he cooperated with the authorities.
It was over one of the former homeboys who had made a statement in prison about some dudes and that the police knew that was his knife. How in the hell the police know that's your knife?
Seeing him at Snoop Dogg's party was disrespectful.
Damn, so he said he snitched in prison. He snitched in prison about a knife or something. And now he out here on the street and they about to holler at him. They trying to holler at him. This seems eerily familiar, really, to the Nipsey Hussle situation, reportedly even, at least, where reportedly, it has been reported that Nipsey Hussle confronted Eric Holder about snitch allegations, about him supposed to be a snitch, and Nipsey Hussle said that what about this paperwork about you being a snitch or what have you. So it looks like Trey D is doing the same thing, where there's a dude there who's a rat from, even though he snitched in prison, whatever, snitch is a snitch. He's there, he don't want him there. What you about to do, confront him? You have to be careful with those situations. Those situations, either you just, take care of business or you don't. But confronting individuals about that sort of stuff, you have to be careful.
So Trey confronted him and told him straight up, "You're a rat. You don't belong here."
It wasn't even beef. It was just like, dude, you're a rat. You don't belong here. The homie done already went upside your head. What is you even doing here?
As Trey was making him leave, he let his guard down for a second. That's when the guy sucker punched him, knocking him backward into the pool.
See?
Trey later laughed about it, saying, "I didn't get knocked out. I got knocked in the pool. If I hadn't landed in the water, I probably would have been knocked out."
I didn't get knocked out, though. I got knocked in the pool.
Oh.
Yeah. Probably if I didn't land in the pool, I probably would have been knocked out.
Things got chaotic for a moment, but that was pretty much the end of it. The guy either got handled or kicked out, though Trey didn't give details. There was a wild rumor that Snoop Dogg was the one who knocked out Trey, but that wasn't true. Trey shut that down. Snoop Dogg had nothing to do with it. He was just the host.
They didn't claim that Snoop was the one who did it.
No, not at all.
So, this situation that he's talking about, did it happen?
Yeah.
For Trey, this wasn't a real feud. He was just enforcing.
See, that's what I was talking about. Dude he sucker punched him, which is better than him pulling out a weapon and doming him, because you didn't call him a snitch. Even if he is, he doesn't want to be revealed as such or confronted as such. That's why you just got to take care of him or not. But you confront him about it, these individuals, they get violent. They can accept the fact anymore that they're 50-50.
The code. No snitches allowed. He didn't retaliate, maybe because people stepped in right after the punch. The guy's name never got mentioned publicly, likely to avoid giving him attention. In a 2024 Vlad TV interview, Trey told the story with a smile, almost joking about how he ended up soaked. He still has no respect for the guy, but there's no ongoing drama. In the end, it was just one wild night, one punch, and one unforgettable party story. It all started when Vlad asked Trey D about X-Rated's take on gang culture. Trey D, however, said he didn't agree, calling it negative and harmful for young people. X-Rated didn't like that. In his eyes, people were overstepping, speaking on things that weren't their business.
Everybody's losing their discipline when it comes to talking about me, including Trey D with you. That's not what's supposed to happen on no gangster.
He called it out straight. He made it clear. Some people had no right to speak on his situation. He felt like he was always being watched. Even in prison, he believed people were trying to push him out, spreading rumors and working against him.
And them motherfuckers didn't have no business investigating what I was doing, but they gonna do it because who has the most important business? Who has the funnest business on the yard? X-Rated does.
When it came to prison life, he wanted the truth out there. He told Vlad to ask real questions. How much time did these people actually serve? What level yards were they on? What prisons did they do time in?
Listen to me, Vlad. When you interview another talk about prison, I want you to ask them how much time they had. And that's a trick question. Because when they tell you the answer, if it wasn't enough time, that means it's level 1.
He also made one thing clear. Not all prison experiences were the same, and not everyone could speak on his level. X-Rated had done real time, years in Pelican Bay, Corcoran, New Folsom, and Salinas Valley. He wasn't just caught up in prison politics. He had been in real conflicts. So when people talked like they knew his experience, downplayed it, or questioned him, he wasn't letting that slide.
And to come and speak on him off that went to Pelican Bay. Speak on it that was at Corcoran. Speak on it that walked the yard at New Folsom, at open Salinas Valley and went to war. Even they homeboys riding in wars I was in.
In his mind, he had earned his respect. He had been through it all and survived. Now, he wasn't staying quiet. If anyone wanted to speak on his name, they better come correct. Tyron Turner was part of Snoop Dogg's circle, and the incident happened at a party Snoop Dogg hosted, maybe even at his house. Over time, rumors made it sound bigger than it was. In reality, it was just playful roughhousing, not a real fight.
Whatever that is, it's not nothing where it's like beef, none of that.
Even Trey D said there was no bad blood. Trey called it horseplay.
What the hell did they say about X-Ray? Because he's not, or X-Rated, because he's not happy. And where is he from? I don't know. I don't know where X-Rated is from. But apparently, as we can see, Trey D said something about him, mentioned him, and he called him out by name. However, but Trey D is older now. Back in the days, people were hesitant to do certain things. Not to say that X-Ray would have been. Apparently, he's did time in prison as well, or a lot of time in prison, and was in some serious prisons. Salinas Valley is a very serious prison. I was there. Corcoran is a very serious prison. I was there. I was not in Pelican Bay, but it is a very serious prison.
So it was just horseplay. You call it horseplay. You know what I mean? We was just horse playing. We playing for about 30, 40 seconds.
At one point, Tyron swung or did something that led to a brief tussle. Some rumors claimed Snoop Dogg knocked out Trey D, but that wasn't true. Trey emphasized that he and Tyron have been friends for years. Tyron even appeared in Trey's wife's music video after the so-called fight.
Tyron, my boy.
Yeah, he said everything's good between y'all.
Man, that's my kid, man. He was in my wife's video. She did a song named Kane.
If there was real beef, that wouldn't have happened. Goldie Loc was the third member of Eastsidaz, repping Rollin' 20s Crips like Snoop Dogg.
Goldie Loc, who was he affiliated with?
Rollin' 20 Crips.
When things fell apart around 2002, 2003, Trey D felt betrayed by Goldie for not standing with him in the money dispute against Snoop Dogg. He believed Goldie either took Snoop Dogg's side or stayed quiet instead of fighting for their fair share. In Trey's words, Goldie never showed loyalty to me, even though we were in the same boat. Unlike the fallout with Snoop Dogg, there was no violence between Trey and Goldie, just distance. By 2003, their friendship had grown cold. While Trey was locked up, they spoke a few times, but Trey said Goldie either dodged him or straight up lied. In a 2009 interview from prison, Trey made it clear he had no interest in working with Goldie again, except to be paid for his contributions to Goldie's Still Eastsidaz project. He felt Goldie had used the Eastsidaz name and his work without giving him proper credit or support. For years, they stayed apart. Trey called Goldie disloyal and swore a reunion would never happen. But time has a way of changing things. In 2022, Snoop Dogg's revival of Death Row brought the crew back together. After 22 years, Thought was reunited, performing at Snoop Dogg's Super Bowl week events.
The Eastsidaz reunited last year.
Right.
After how many years?
22, I believe, after 22 years.
By 2023, they were even making music again. Trey admitted they had to work.
And of course, there are a lot of groups like that had broken up for many years and then got back together for one last tour or one last album, and they just let bygones be bygones. I believe that once people get older, they begin to soften up about not forgiving and not letting stuff go. Once you get older and realize that you only have so much time left in this world, you begin to make amends and let certain things go and forgive people. And that's why you see some of these people, some of these individuals who had long-standing beefs come together after decades, and as they should, because we only have so long, man.
Through past tensions for the bigger picture.
We shot a video last night with the Dog Pound, a new song called "We All We Got," and we brought that aspect back. It was homies from Eastside.
While it's unclear if their personal bond is fully repaired, they've made peace professionally. Their 2023 single, "We All We Got," symbolized that, showing the world that after all the drama, thought us could still stand together.
Ain't no bigger than the program. It's death row, so you know we fear no man.
On November 6th, 2003, Trey D got caught up in a shooting in Long Beach.
And there was some guys in Long Beach that tried to step on my toes, and it's just something that just flared up,
He fired at a group outside a business, but no one was hit. Police arrested he was facing 122 years for attempted murder, assault with a firearm, and other gun-related charges.
Damn. I was actually facing 122 years.
122 years?
Yes, for gang. I was facing 50 years on gang allegations alone.
By February 2005, he was sentenced to 12 years in prison. He served 9. The official motive was unclear, but it was likely gang-related. Trey D, a high-ranking insane Crip, reportedly shot at rival Crips, specifically Rollin' 20s. That's significant because Rollin' 20s was Snoop Dogg and Goldie Loc's set. Just years earlier, they were allies and thought, but by 2003, that connection had fallen apart. Some believe this was linked to Trey's fallout with
it wasn't gang-related between him and Snoop Dogg. They were partners together. He just wanted his money in that situation. The fact that Snoop Doggy Dogg is from Rollin' 20s did not stop Trey D from connecting with him and forming the group. Goldie Loc is also from Rollin' 20s and arch enemies of the insane Crips, but that didn't stop those individuals from coming together, forming a group, and trying to get money together. It's just that some of their money did not go to them, and so they were upset about that. Now, the shooting that he went to prison for, I don't know. But the situation with him and Snoop Dogg, it didn't devolve into what it devolved into because of gang-related nonsense. But this is Trey D. Went to the studio, bam, 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 gunned Snoodio down, and he went to prison for a shooting and was facing 122 years. He did 9 years and got out. He was really up in there.
Snoop Dogg. Reports say they had multiple altercations before the shooting. Trey even suggested Snoop Dogg was paying off certain Long Beach homies for protection. The shooting may have been part of that larger street tension. Trey left the scene, but was arrested hours later at his home in Fontana. As a convicted felon, he was in serious trouble. His bail was set at over $700,000, and by early 2005, he took a plea or was convicted, getting 12 years.
It took me 5 lawyers and a year and a half to get them down to 12 years. I pretty much didn't have no choice but to take it and go walking.
This incident took Trey out of the rap game for nearly a decade. After serving 9 years, he was released in 2014. Any beef with those involved likely faded while he was locked up. Later, he told Vlad TV he's moved past old street grudges, even with people who shot at him. After getting out, Trey D switched up his focus. Music writing and spreading a more positive message became his main thing. The gang war that landed him behind bars, that stayed in the past. Even his rap beef with Snoop Dogg, which had spilled into the streets, was done and dusted after he served his time. But let's take a step back. Who is Trey D really? Before he made a name in hip-hop, Davis was deep in the streets as part of the insane Crips in Long Beach. His first big break came in 1994 when he hopped on Snoop Doggy Dogg's Murder Was the Case soundtrack, dropping bars on 21 Jump Street. The next year, he popped up on Reality from Dog Food, and by 1996, he was featured on Tha Dogfather. Then in 1999, he leveled up and became part of Tha, a platinum-selling trio with Snoop Dogg and Goldie Loc. The group put out 2 albums, and at the same time, Trey D was rolling with the Car Club Street Crew IV Life family, eventually signing with their label IV Life Records. By 2014, he was ready to go solo, dropping his first official project after a string of mixtapes. And get this, his first tape, Long Beach State of Mind, was actually recorded from inside his prison cell using a smartphone and a makeshift booth made from blankets and boxes. That same year, on April 18th and 19, he linked back up with Goldie Loc to rock the stage at Crush Groove 2014 in Fresno and Inglewood. Trey D has had his fair share of rap beefs, some real, some just industry drama, but one thing's for sure, he always stood his ground. Whether it was money issues with Snoop, street conflicts, or calling out rappers he didn't respect, he never shied away from the smoke. But over the years, he's evolved. He made peace with Snoop, reunited with Goldie Loc, and even helped squash other people's feuds. These days, he looks back at all that with a different mindset, warning others about the dangers of letting petty beef spiral out of control. At the end of the day, Trey D lived his lyrics, handled his business, and learned when to let things go.
Yeah, man. Let me know what you think in the comments. Shout out to Trey D. Of course, he has been, simmering down certain beefs, and as he said, teaching people not to let petty beefs boil over into something more serious. But as we can see, even back then, 10 years ago, with the Game and Young Thug and Trey D and other individuals, there have been internet beefs going on, hip hop beefs going on. It's been unsafe for individuals to go to award shows and everything else. Everyone has had to be careful in this culture and in this industry for many years now. But it's good that he's older now. So yeah, he's not worried about something. He did that time in prison. That prison experience will humble you. He came out of prison after doing 9 years and said, I'm done with all of this nonsense. And hooked back up with his former friends. Even after gunfire was exchanged between the two of them. So, shout out to those individuals for trying to resolve the situation without someone losing their life. But Trey D is a different man now. As he said, he's older now, as am I. And that's good. He survived the situation and is thriving still in the world. But he was something else at that time, as we can see. He had all these beefs going on. He was getting into it with people and having shootouts. He went to prison. He was terrorizing. People were, they knew that he was for real, that he was really associated, really affiliated. So people proceeded with caution back in those days with Trey D. That's for sure, and for good reason. Stay safe and stay free, people.